That's all right, the clock on the wall, I'm afraid to go off. Not that one year. All ordered this, first meeting of August, August 5th, 2025, the Myrtle Creek City Council. Joanna, could you do roll call, please?
Yeah. Counselor Robert Cheney,
Here.
Counselor Luke Dillon,
Here.
Counselor Rick Held,
Here.
Counselor Diana Larson,
Here.
Counselor Kathy Rag, here.
Everybody would stand, I'm over to your dad, join me in the allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Any public presentations? Joanna? Yeah, I think turn in, okay. Citizens heard on agenda items. No, okay. Consent agenda consists of only one thing tonight: approval of minutes of the regular city council meeting for July 15th, 2025.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda meeting minutes of the regular city council meeting for July 15th, 2025.
Been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes of the regular city council meeting for July 15th, 2025. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimous. Well, now, one of the reasons we all joined here tonight, I think a lot of it, anyway, 6.1 on your regular agenda is the mayor vacancy appointment. For those who don't know, when we have a vacancy on a mayor, the mayor has to get appointed from those seated council members. And if any of them wants to step forward, well, it took a little bit of convincing. I think it was more convincing his wife than him. But Councilor Luke Dillon has decided to step forward. And at this time, I would entertain a motion to appoint him to that position.
I make a motion that we appoint Luke Dillon to the position of mayor.
It's been moved and second that we appoint Luke Dillon to mayor. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimously. Now, Mayor Dillon, you come around front and take the oath of office from our city recorder.
I, Luke Dillon.
I, Luke Dillon,
Do solemnly swear.
do solemnly swear
That I will support the Constitution.
that I will support the Constitution
And laws of the United States.
and laws of the United States
And the state of Oregon.
and the state of Oregon
And the charter and ordinances of the city of Myrtle Creek.
and the charter and ordinances of the city of Myrtle Creek,
That I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
honestly, and impartially.
honestly, and impartially
Discharge my duties.
discharge my duties
As mayor.
as mayor
During my continuance therein.
during my continuous serving.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you.
Sure, meeting, Mayor.
All right. First, I just want to say thank you to the council and appreciate this opportunity, and I look forward to serving all you out there in the city, the best that I can of integrity and, yeah. Thank you.
Well, thank you for stepping up. I know I realized we had that discussion, that's the reason that Matt Mayor went on August 4th, so we. Kids had to go to an election that would be the 60-day period, and I got thinking, our math wasn't very good because November 4th is 90 days, not 60, so thank you for stepping up.
Oh, yeah,
Because we're going to stand
there. Yeah. And thank you to my wife too. First, let's see with my agenda. With me taking this position, I wanted to take the time, still in 6.1, and talk about filling my position of counselor. I don't think anything really needs to be said other than we just need to put applications out there. I guess the council would want to talk about whether or not how long we want to have an application out there, and either they can 30 days or
30 days is pretty standard.
yeah. I don't think any motion needs to be done with that, right? Yeah, so,
You know,
yeah,
this with you.
yeah, so we can get that advertised. We'll put out there, and if anybody knows anybody who's interested, who might be interested, they can throw that out, so. Probably Joanna. Moving on, 6.2, 6.3, native plant garden. Shane Kelly. Shane, yeah, will you state your name and your address?
Yeah, my name is Shane Kelly, 347 Clark Street, Myrtle Creek. I had made a presentation to the Parks Department or the Parks Commission about this, and they had made the motion to move it forward. So I'd like to make the same presentation to City Council to get approval for this project. This will be a native plant learning garden in the dry lot next to the library, between the parking lot for the pool and the library parking lot. You can go to the next slide. The community benefits of this will be that there will be a food garden. We will be installing a native plant food garden section that will have edible native plants so that people can identify, collect seeds, learn about how to grow and how to identify them, so that when they're out foraging or anything, they can see those, and then as well take the seeds home and grow them in their own gardens. It will serve as a living classroom, not just for the library, but for other organizations around our area to be able to go to a safe location that's accessible, to see some of our native wildlife and plants in their natural habitat that we'll craft, and kind of show some of the cultural significance as well of some of those plants. And then leisure, it would enhance the local tourism by creating a unique attraction. I don't know if anyone has had the chance to visit the Discovery Garden in Roseburg, but it takes a lot of elements from that, how they've set theirs up, and it's a really neat spot. Wildlife benefits. This will be a certified wildlife habitat by the National Wildlife Federation. We've designed it to meet their qualifications to become certified as a wildlife habitat. There'll be food sources, water sources, cover, and places to raise young, including bee boxes and birdhouses. Go to the next slide. And here's the design of the garden. It's designed with ADA and ABA standards, so it'll be fully wheelchair accessible, including areas near the benches that are wheelchair accessible. There'll be wayfinding signs as well to serve as educational and to direct people through the garden. So you can see there's several sections to this. The first being the entrance arch when you come through opens up into the children's garden. There'll be a wildlife habitat, the edible native plants. There'll be a pollinator garden, a caterpillar crossing, which will serve along the side of the road there that goes up to the pool. And then a solitary bee sanctuary and the bird nesting grounds. The upkeep, maintenance and cost analysis, we estimated that the savings for installing an irrigation system, currently there's no irrigation, so it's just dry weeds, and right now it's kind of just a dirt patch. We estimate that it'll save an initial amount of $4,145 from having to install irrigation there, as well as saving an estimated $1,278 in yearly maintenance between watering, mowing, etc. And then we estimate that this savings, just the way it is now as a dry dirt lot, we estimate they'll save $700 a year. The cost that we will associate, would be the first year, $21.40 in supplemental watering until the plants get established. The second year will be reduced watering down to $10.70, and then after that, it'll just rely on native rainfall and won't need supplemental watering. The Myrtle Creek Library will be funding this project. We have $20,000 as well as in-kind donations that we'll use to construct and maintain the property. That's it.
So that's just north of the library?
Yeah, just immediately adjacent to the parking lot, between the two parking lots, there's a section there. That's where we already have planted the moon tree, so we've been maintaining that tree. But right now, everything surrounding it in that section is just kind of dead, dry grass. It's a 65 by 85 foot perimeter. We're gonna end kind of where the sidewalk is already existing that goes next to the children's playground and the pavilion there. We're just gonna do a straight cut down from there is where our boundary would be. Most of that going east from there is in the shade, so it stays pretty green most of the year without watering. But the rest of that, east of that kind of boundary line, that stuff is just dry dirt because it doesn't get watered and it's in the sun constantly.
So the arch up there that was off of Baton, but it's at the lower by the library side, or is it up?
At the top where the sidewalk is, so the sidewalk, where that's parking, that's wheelchair accessible, you'd come in and then that would be the actual entrance to the park. There's no way to actually access it from the library without having to step over a great big concrete wall, and with the size and everything, we can't really put a ramp or anything down on that end.
Unleash entertained this idea a couple of years ago. And have you been in contact with them at all? Because it's identical pretty much. One of the issues was fencing and bees. Bees being a sting hazard to people in the pool. And what type of fence do you plan on?
We don't plan on putting any fence. We kind of are encouraging wildlife to come through as well as people, so we don't want to put up any barriers really. The barriers would be natural.
Yeah, the fence that they talked about was like what's along the creek there on the new part that they redid the trail.
Yeah, for wayfinding to kind of show where the edges are, it'll be just the actual planters and the beds themselves to kind of indicate where you should be walking, where you shouldn't be walking.
Right.
So we don't see a need to put a fence in. As far as bees go, we're designing it to be a native habitat, so European honeybees won't really be an issue. They're really the only ones that we have that actually sting, because they have hives that they guard. Any bee boxes that we put in will be for things like mason bees and non-stinging native solitary bees, so they won't really be a sting hazard.
Would you be willing to coordinate with Unleash? Because they went quite a ways with.
I spoke to someone with them and they said that the reason that they did not continue is because the city did not agree to not spray.
Right.
They
They had issues with the maintenance of grounds going in.
Right. We would like to just sign some sort of contingency or something that shows that we'll maintain it. And then if the city does want to do maintenance or, you know, there's a sewer line that goes through there on the design, it kind of shows where that is. We're not putting anything above that sewer line. We're distancing from that. So if the city does need to do maintenance, that they just give us a heads up so we can move anything that needs to be moved. But we would maintain the weeds and plants and take care of all the maintenance. And we can sign a MOU or something for like 3 years and let the city decide after that, whatever the city will decide to do.
Do you worry about, I mean, because we won't be fencing, do you worry about? Like, damage or security and like that?
No, I mean, they're all native plants, so they're pretty hardy. If someone tears them up, we'll just replace them. I mean, I don't really foresee any real issues with anything like that. Yeah, and if wildlife comes in and eats them, I think it's kind of the point. So we hope that wildlife will come in and utilize the plants and things that we put in there, and we have seed library that's established now at the library with native seeds to continually maintain it.
Zach, do you have any concerns about?
No,
Might be a good idea to have sign the 3 year or something, just a statement and things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Either you'd renew or you're not interested anymore, it didn't work out.
Right.
guess where do you guys plan on blowing water?
We would just hand water, for the first 2 years. And then that would be it. So that's what we estimated those costs at, is pulling water, just from the library and just hand watering. That's what we do now for the moon tree, is just hand water. And then once it's established, just normal rainfall will sustain it, because it'll all be native plants that live here.
So what do you want from the city? Just the okay to do it?
Yeah, we would like site control so that we can go ahead and start construction on building the flower beds, installing benches, things like that.
You have something written up, Shane?
I can get something, or if you guys have like a lawyer that wants to just draft something up.
I would much rather, before we go ahead and stuff, I want to see everything in writing. That's what's got us in trouble before, so.
Understand? Yeah, yeah, we're happy to, work with you guys to
I
make
think
sure.
it's a great idea, but still,
Right,
it protects you and it protects us.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with something, right?
Is that something you want us to draft up?
Well, probably at this point, it'd be a good idea.
What you're doing and what you're thinking about, and what it's gonna entail. And
Yeah, you know all the details right now, so yeah, I think having something from you first. would be-
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can totally do that.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
For following up on that, so we'll just wait, to get something from you and then. We'll decide whether or not we need to.
Could bring it to our next city council meeting,
Yeah.
that would be great, that's in 2 weeks, so.
Yeah.
I can do that 2 weeks.
On that note, a little different, since that is in the parks. Have they started on the Boots Field at all? Does anybody know? They were gonna start. Did they-
I don't know, I haven't heard
Wondered
any more
about
from
that,
them.
so.
We haven't heard anything more, because I know they were talking about it as soon as the season's over, and it's been done for about a month, so I didn't know if they had approached anybody in the health department or. Okay.
All right, 6.4 basketball court resurfacing, Terry Walker. Say your name and address, please.
My name is Gary Walker. I live at 721 Morrison here in Myrtle Creek, Oregon. I was trying to do the basketball resort, trying to do a youth program out here in Myrtle Creek, working on that. And with the basketball tournament that I'm putting on, is that it would help me to, I want to take 50 kids to Oak Park, are places that a lot of kids have never been anywhere. And I'm working on the surface on the basketball court to try to update it. I've been in contact with Nike, and I'm waiting for the information with them. See, can they come down here and resurface the court as the pickleball court as well, that it would be nice and designed. So, we're waiting back to hear back from them. And then I'm having the basketball tournament on the 23rd of this month.
So you're just asking. If we're okay with Nike coming in and resurfacing it, or?
Well, not only just surfing, but it will put probably Myrtle Creek name on it, something like that, or make it real nice and stuff. So
And which basketball, there was one next to the, I know it's next.
with the pool,
The one on the 10.
Yeah. yeah, the one by the pool, because there's two of them.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about just putting on the other court, the big court would be the pickleball court, and the other court would be the basketball. So it's all depending how Nike responded, and we negotiate, talk about it. So because in Portland, all the park recreation is Nike. They use the bottom of the shoe and refurnish it, and it's real nice. It lasts forever. rain or snow or anything else. Won't even have to keep it up maintenance.
And Jerry, you're asking them to do that on their dime, right, not our dime?
Right. Yeah, because if they do that a lot. Yeah,
They do that.
right. And, you know, if not, if they can't do it, then I'm going to, make a way to get it done.
So I'm assuming that upper one that you're talking about, that right now, is that just dedicated for basketball? I know the lower one's basketball and pickleball, and I think didn't they do some nets or painting on evergreen and pickleball, or is pickleball also on the upper basketball court?
Right. It's for like all of them.
Or are you asking for the golf one to be just basketball, dedicated strictly for basketball?
Well, just basketball and pickleball, and try to get this park and the one over the other side, get them done real nice and stuff.
Yeah, there's two courts there,
Yeah.
and one is,
Like it's
already
small.
has pickleball, court, line,
Oh,
right, and one is dedicated strictly to that.
So that's what I'm asking, is that the one that's dedicated strictly for basketball, if Nike's gonna come in and spend the money, are they okay with turning that basketball and pickleball, or are we just talking about?
But I gotta find out what what they wanna do, and how they wanna do it and stuff, you know, I'm pretty sure that, you know, they could, you know, negotiate and, you know, be a partner with and stuff, so. You know, so,
How would they prevent like problems with the people? Maybe kids getting where they shouldn't be during the time that you're working, would that involve our city workers? How would that work?
will that take time with that, you know, if they're working on it, then it should be a construction zone around, let them know that their processes are cleaning it up and working on it, and kids shouldn't interfere with that.
Yeah, that's,
Somebody doing it probably has some.
yeah, although on fences, that probably just strictly protect space.
We, at this point, we don't know if they wanna do it and how long it would take or anything, so right now we're just in the talking phase.
Right, in the top phase right now, hopefully that I could try to get it done, if it's okay, and they come down here and check it out, hopefully get it done by next spring. You know,
So you just need the okay from the city council, so you can go ahead and talk to Mikey and tell them that you've already approved it through the city.
right, yeah,
And if they do come down, and if they do make that, visit and stuff, we want you to make sure that our public works people are a part of that conversation.
right, yeah. I mean, it's for the whole community, you know, wanna upgrade it, make it look nice, make it standard, because, you know, if you go to, like in Portland, out in Beaverton, those parks, they basketball court and they pickleball court is really nice, you know, while we can't get the same type of love here.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with getting a lot of love and making something nice if they're gonna pay for it.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, if all you need is a consensus from everybody.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, yeah, we love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for initiating that.
yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing this and
Yeah.
hearing more about that. So, yeah, if you can keep us raised on what you learn or hear back.
Okay,
So, yeah, that'd be awesome.
thank you,
Yeah, thank you. Sure.
thank you, thank you.
Moving on, 6.5 vacant building code review. First off, Chrissy, thank you for your information that you gave us the other day. I read through it. I'll just say my opinion, and I'm sure you can say, I'm not a huge fan of how it currently is written. I don't know about you guys. I think, my mind. I was kind of feeling kind of what Christy actually shared her thing. I was kind of, my focus was more going to be for like the downtown area at first. And then we need to move into residential area, to kind of approach any of that. I definitely can, but I think the focus was downtown and kind of, making it more beautiful. I do like the idea of working with them. I know. We can discuss it, but I know like a lot of our issue, I think, is like there's that absentee kind of landlords or just people who are not out here, so. An issue But I think going step by step into first approaching them about certain aspects, certain things that we want them to approach, like either it's beautifying their place or making it that, available to be able to be leased, things like that. I'm not sure, approaching it with those kind of things to make it so it's not vacant, and then going into maybe, having a step up phase where like, okay, now you guys are not, responding, I'll start buying them or whatever that looks like.
My thoughts on that are pretty much along your lines is once you go from the residential, which sounds like it's a good idea, and that's gonna build downtown it's commercial into the residential. I just don't know how much I want the city to be going and telling the private person what they can do with their front yard, this and that, and
Well, we already have nuisance.
Yeah.
Things, so
Right.
that's already.
the example that I'd like to bring up is, when we talked about this last time, we talked about that fourplex next to the library. And I know it's been sitting vacant because he's been working on it for a long time, but it has brand new windows, brand new roof, brand new doors. It looks nice. He's got trees planted. There's no trash, there's no garbage, so it's. And for us to go in and say, tell them you either rent it or we're gonna charge you $1,000, which would be the 250 times 4. I just don't think we should step into something like that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I think that's between him and his insurance, because insurance doesn't like places sitting vacant and they
Yeah.
charge them more if they are, so they're already doing something
Yeah.
on that end.
And it's kept clean. I'd rather go after someone that's got 3 broken down cars in their front yard and garbage stacked up. There is ordinances and there is stuff that we can do about that. And so I think as long as we enforce the ordinance we have, this vacant thing, maybe we should just proceed on the downtown area.
Yeah.
Beautify downtown.
That was my understanding, because we've got so many empty buildings that people don't seem to care one way or the other to leave it sit. They're not gonna do anything that, it's really causing the ambiance of the city to suffer because of it.
How can, could we change or modify the ordinance so that the downtown buildings are have a separate influence than the residential? Cause I
You could just remove residential completely.
Yeah,
okay, that might be an option, because even though I have the opposite situation as the library, I have. I think there are investors that bought the house right in front of me, and now it's been vacant since they went in there and renovated it. And I'm getting all their weeds, and so I've been really unhappy about that, but then I was told, that the fire chief goes around, and I believe, if I understood right.
We also do, along with that, we do the complaint driven. So if you let us know, then the police department will go by and they'll look. So just give us a call and we can fill out a form to let them.
You're right, because I was wondering about that today. I saw a light in the house last night, and I'm going, what is going on, with this? But I know that investors were involved, and it just irritates the heck out of me, that we're in a place where our community's assets are being thrown around like crazy because of these darn investors. And so there might be more of that in the future. I'm worried about that. That would be really unfortunate. And I have another note here. Oh, as far as the buildings, is there a way, there's no way that we can give them a deadline to have their buildings occupied, because at least if they're occupied, they might be tempted to take care of it. I don't know if there's any way to see.
well, I think that's what our discussion is about.
Yeah,
is whether or
yeah,
not we want to put something in
about
place
it.
on it. That was what specifically, but that's what this discussion is all about.
yeah,
I'm with the rest of you. I don't think that the city should be involved in the landlord business.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like we would be doing with the vacant housing out there in the residential area. We shouldn't be involved in landlord business. And also, I think we need to take a look at this, be more amenable rather than hostile in our approach.
Yeah,
I agree with that, but it seems like we've got the grant program that we've put out there for Main Street and, you know, give them money, pay half the cost to shine it up and make it pretty. So if we've been trying to work with them in a general fashion.
I
So,
like, I thought about that too, and I kind of wondered, like, not knowing, all that our previous city administrator did it to both that, so I don't know if that's been voted well or not, and so you guys were no better than
We
me,
did
so.
when we first created them, I think we did maybe some kind of a grant push that we mail out to all the property owners or something.
Yeah, so I think that would be helpful to make sure that they are aware of it, as then if they're not taking advantage of it, that's on them, but I just want to make sure that they are aware of those things. And kind of seeing who those other owners are that do have the vacant spaces. Speaking to them, kind of get an idea of what. I don't know what that looks like exactly, but kind of get an understanding of what their intentions are for that space. All that kind of stuff, so I like to kind of.
I just don't know how we'd, make a suggestion like that, to an owner to, you know, fix their place up. I know, and I'm sure all of you are aware of the mural, Bob's idea.
No, it
That-
wasn't my idea.
Oh, you did, I thought you had suggested maybe.
No, it was Mackenzie, what is her last name, that is the new owners of the Homestead Furniture, she's the one that got that started.
Oh, okay, well, there's a new mural. And, over there, right next to,
It's
Right
on
there-
Byron's,
right there
it's
on
on
the-
Byron's building there, the Rose Hotel.
yeah, right there by this, 7-Eleven or whatever, Quick Stop or whatever, Quick Stop, I guess, and it's beautiful. Yeah, I mean, it's the first mural I've seen that I really, really like. I mean, so it goes to show that if you suggest, if the city does suggest murals, that they can be really beautiful. So that was.
And that was kind of done independently of what we had added.
Right, that was.
Yeah.
It was just coincidental.
Yeah. so-
Yeah, very coincidental. I thought you maybe suggested
No,
to someone.
Byron was Mackenzie's last name.
I'm not quite sure, that came up quickly for me as well. I took a call at 5:45 on Friday. And they said that this artist was in town and she had a cancellation in Klamath Falls because their city government couldn't figure it out and wanted to know. The Rice building had gotten brought up, but I didn't feel like it was in exterior condition to take such a beautiful piece of art, and the maintenance is gonna need to be done on that, so I suggested. I had this other building in town that currently had a mural that needed a rebranding and to be more community focused, and they checked with the artist and she approved, and she flew down from Alaska, and that thing was painted by Wednesday, I think, of next week.
So we're having a mural committee, is that in place already?
They had their first meeting, we have our next one August 26th. And there's, I believe, like 9 members.
And we do have money for that through the renewal, is
I
that?
believe that was.
We don't have an amount set, but it was discussed to offer some towards that mural. The amount was brought up at our first meeting to see what we had.
Well,
So
it'd be
we'll
good
want-
to get an idea what is the cost of the mural these days, I don't think.
That's one of the things we're bringing back at our next meeting is the ideas about Austin artists.
That'd be good, then maybe once you guys have more discussion, maybe that can come back to the urban renewal. And we can discuss that more about.
This needs to be revisited before we move forward with it.
Oh, yeah, I don't expect, I'd say this is only just gonna change, it's random.
So we can either, we can send it back and it may be when our next city administrator is in place, so before we look at it again. So
but it's something the city needs to
Yeah.
try to find a way.
I
to move
totally agree that
forward on.
we need to try and address it. we have to be very,
Yeah.
very cautious of how we do it.
Sure. Yeah, I think, yeah, I agree, the city administrator should be, you know, obviously focusing on a lot of this, especially when it comes to like gathering information and so that, so. I think would be good, yeah, but yes, I don't wanna. Push it off definitely, so.
Right.
Talk about this soon, maybe we'll talk about maybe adding in a month or something like that.
So then I guess I make a motion to table the vacant building code review for the time being and bring it up at a later date. That's what I think we're thing to do.
Do we?
Do we need a motion?
We need a motion to kick it back, table it.
It would be good to, because we brought it up, I think we have, do we have a first read on it, or it was?
Yeah, oh, that was.
It's not a
No.
first read, it's
It's just.
It
so.
was informational only, it was informational only.
Yes, just a working.
Okay. I'll second what you said, okay. Or did you already? Pretty quick on that.
All right, I guess all in favor of putting on hold the vacant building code review until further notice? All in favor,
Aye.
opposed? Any? Small city allotment grants.
So we had applied for the small cities allotment grant for paving Madrona. And, we did receive that, so the grant is attached, to be signed. This is what it's, here's the area, so it's this portion, it's the length of Madrona. The grant amount is in the amount of $239,105, which is based on the estimate from Dyer Partnership with their engineering, and we believe that that's going to cover the entire cost of that research.
Is there any in-kind on that, or cash, from the city involved?
I do not believe that a small cities allotment has an in-kind, it's a set amount, and if it goes over, then you
Did you pay?
pick up everything over.
I make a motion to accept the small cities allotment grant in the amount of $239,105 for the purposes of paving and improving Madrona Drive.
Second.
Discussion prior to vote. Is this typical? I was reading through it. It's
I
it's
think
pretty
they're,
typical.
they're all
I know
pretty
we've
much
gotten-
always the same, and then there is a spot where it says, cities legal. And she did specify in her email that the legal review is not required by the, by ODOT. That is only if it's something that we require locally. And I will look at our other ones, but I don't believe we've sent a small cities allotment grant to an attorney.
So for the amount, did we get the bid and then apply for the grant?
The engineering estimate, I couldn't tell you if bids went out as well.
Is the grant amount, it's exactly the same as what we need.
Well, usually bids don't go out until under you have to grade.
So right after the map. There's the cost.
So that's not a bid, that's,
So what's the process for the bid? I wanna address this so that make sure, obviously the city administrator would do this week.
Zach Dyer will do, most of the time they do all of ours. So Dyer
Okay.
Partnership, we contract engineering and project management from them. And so they will put together the bid packets, submit them. In the past, they've come here to open the bids. And then, we present those to council, and it's usually, I think by our code, it's the lowest bid. And then that gets awarded, and then they start creating that construction time.
And I see they have a cost line here for bidding, so I assume that's covered.
It is by statute that we have to accept the lowest bid or we can reject them all.
I just scrolling, it's just on the whole.
Any other discussion prior to vote? Alright, I'll do the one at a time. Rick Hill,
Yes.
Diane Larson,
Yes,
Kathy Bragg,
Yeah,
Bob King.
Yes.
Alright. Alright. That's because you guys, you'd like to sign something off.
No. That one, I need to print the contract out and then yes, I'll have you sign it. I should have had that on your desk for you as well.
Alright, 6.7 city charter amendments. Do you believe this is about talking about the hiring of a city administrator and allowing them to be able to live outside of city limits?
It's page 41 in your packet. And this was just a discussion topic that came up during the work session. And was requested to have on the agenda about coming up with some kind of wording as far as. Is there, it was talked about a radius, miles, zip code.
I like what was said at that work session. I think Zach actually said it, that they must live within the 97457 zip code. Maybe that gives a lot of flexibility to the surrounding area.
I'll go
next
with
that
no.
was all.
Yeah, not even.
Also out to Clark's Branch
Yeah, Clark's Branch and over,
and clear down the
by
gallery.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit then, 5-7. Or we could put a time frame of responding, but everybody drives different. So
yeah,
I would always, just something I'm gonna throw out that maybe the possible wording would be right now, is the administrator need not reside in the city. Or the state when appointed, but shall within 6 months become and during his tenure or her. Of office remain a resident of the city of Myrtle Creek. Or we can add in, or in the community within a 30-minute radius or 20-minute radius, or wherever we want, so. Because like I said, Canyonville is. Not farther south, and it's still 97457, some of that areas than. Some of it is all gas
Really?
roads.
Gatley Road is, yeah.
Everything on Gas Road is, in fact, our old police chief lived on Gas Road. I'm thinking. All of our department heads live out of the city. Most of our employees do. I think we probably have one or two employees that live in the city limits, maybe a few more, so. That's what I would like to see.
I think doing time would be difficult just because of
Miles.
how, yeah, miles would be more
Time's
specific.
actually easy, you can just go out to Google. You can, I mean, it's an average, you can say, okay, from this address to 215 or 207 Northwest Pleasant Street. It'll give you an average time,
Okay,
and so that's a pretty easy thing to do. I think they just based it on the speed limit and what the mileage is from the two distances.
Yeah.
I think the common sense thought behind that restriction is like in an emergency, like flooding or whatever, people are able to come together because they are already here,
Right.
pretty local.
In theory, that's perfect, and I like what you said, but if you stop, look back at the flooding. Mayor Matt, fire chief, police chief, Zach and his crew were nonstop for days. Well, we didn't have a city administrator in town, and we didn't have a public works director that.
Yeah,
even
I'm
showed
just
up,
saying,
so-
that's the thought process, to try to have people
Yes,
collectively available when there is a need or something like that, so.
Because how often does an emergency come up to where that?
it does. But it does. So I think that's what we just need to decide is.
We need to have a quorum in emergency, people that can come together. That's the only thing that I have to add as far as having somebody that is somewhat local. And how we decide on the local.
I mean, like, this thing hypothetically, if somebody was living in Roseburg, that's our city administrator. And there was an emergency, like, for them to get down here in 20 minutes. Wouldn't be so detrimental because we have people already in here that are managing them.
Yeah, I would not think that being in Roseburg would be a good idea.
You don't think, that's what I was saying,
I think it would.
I was speaking the other opposite, so.
Well, depending on what the emergency is and where it is.
That's all, I was trying to make the point that even if it did take a city administrator 20 minutes to get here, in an emergency, there are people here in the manager right away.
I just wanted to open up the pool of applicants a little bit more.
Yeah.
We're asking, trying to get somebody with a bachelor's degree, we may not be able to do that, but then we're gonna accept the experience. We may have somebody with a whole lot of experience, but not the degree, or anything in between, but when we're just saying in the small city.
Right, we cast a wider net and.
Well, I think we're all in
That's
agreement.
What we're looking at.
I think we're all in agreement that we need to expand it. It's just coming to an agreement on the parameters of that. And we have to do it rather quickly as well, because is it September 4th is the deadline to get something on the ballot? September 4th. So if we want it on the ballot for November, it has to be done by September 4th.
Did you find out if there's a difference between putting for an elected official on the ballot versus a measure?
I have not called the elected.
Because I
body. Let
think
me
in the
put that-
discussion last time, it was possible that it wasn't gonna, it
Right.
was off the city for the
That it
ballot
wouldn't be
measure.
a special election because it's not a person's.
It's not out of term. It's not out of term. The other thing is, if we're going to do one thing on there, we might as well look at other things within the city charter that we've had discussions about before. Like, making it a strong mayor and giving the mayor a vote on the council. That was one thing we've discussed before. That's something that we've talked about. If that's the case, we need to have all that together and not do them piecemeal, do them all at the same time, so.
I looked at the strong mayor versus weak mayor, and there's some things that we don't wanna get involved in.
Right, but we have to have that discussion.
So we could do it and say that the only problem I'm seeing with that was our council being 6 people with the councilors being 5 plus the mayor. If you go ahead and say, okay, everybody can vote,
Then we've got it.
how are you gonna break the tie?
Uh-huh.
When you're an odd number, you can break the tie. He breaks the tie if it is a tie, but you don't have you're gonna have a tie at 6.
Right.
But according to Robert's Rules of Order,
You lose.
Tie is a defeated motion.
Yeah, so
What's the point? I can tell you right now, I've been involved for 24 years with the government. You know how many times the mayors had to vote? Well, one time in 24 years.
then it should be a mute issue. What's the
But
difference?
that was something that we had discussed, and I think we still need to have that discussion. We all need to look at all the parameters, and there's other things in the charter that also are archaic. And we need to put it in there, what we've talked about, the council president, and spell it out perfectly.
Yeah.
And those.
Yeah, I agree, yeah, some of those things are kind of ambiguous, so I think we need to figure out. Either. What would it take to make that, what do you think we need to do then? Talk about it as council or to wait?
Dedicate some time at our next council meeting and make it happen.
Cause we have, I guess we do have 2 more council meetings before that deadline,
One,
if I'm not mistaken.
One.
No, cause it's
What's September 1st?
It's a Thursday.
We got the
Or
16th.
but that's the second.
we'll find out the exact.
The second we have that. So we have
Yeah.
2 council meetings. So maybe do this, put it to the next council meeting, have another.
Yeah, dedicate some time to that.
Anybody, maybe before the agenda, like if you have other things on the chart you guys want to pick up.
Yeah.
We make sure we add that to the agenda.
And if you have any supporting documents, like Ricky said, you come up and look, so start bringing supporting documents so we can all see that. And I'd like to see what you came up with.
On a presiding officer.
No, the weak and strong mayor stuff.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys? Oh, okay. So nothing on that one, or any more on that one, we'll give that to the next meeting. 6.8, selection of alternative meeting facilitator for September 16th, 2025 city council meeting.
So this is a request by myself. I am out of town on the 16th and I wanted to see if there's several options if council wants to have the meeting the same night and someone else can take my spot. Or we can on the September Public Works calendar, change the meeting date one day later, sooner. Or it can be canceled. but it is entirely up to council.
I'd rather just change it by day if everybody agrees to that, so everything stays the same. As far as running the meeting, we're just going a different day.
Could we,
Seven,
could we make sure we do that on a Monday rather than a Wednesday?
I'm good with both.
Well, the,
15, I mean, like, what days are you gone?
just that one,
Oh,
taking
okay.
my son. So September
15,
15th, that's actually, it's not code review either, so. We can do Monday the 15th if everyone would like, and I'll put that on the September, public meetings calendar.
you? Yeah,
I'll be here.
all right, 15, so maybe you're not.
I don't know if that needs to be a vote or just a consensus to move it to Monday.
Just a consensus, that we'll need to, put a public notice out at the.
It'll be on the calendar that I issue the end of August. I do the whole monthly calendar.
Okay, now, another one that's not on the agenda that we're talking about Thursday, we're gonna discuss, not know if it's supposed to be 6.2 that's missing or if it hasn't been, but, we need to finish the discussion on what we wanna do for an interim. Thursday, we're gonna leave it open for today's meeting to decide what we wanted to do.
the interim city administrator.
Yeah.
We're supposed to put an ad out, to find somebody, so, but we need somebody to run the meeting in term.
Be,
Yeah, that is, yeah, it's officially, yeah, but that could take.
Do we have to do that?
well, it's gonna take several months to put somebody in place as a full-time, especially if we go to, vote to, the citizens in November to change the charter.
Yeah, and Joanna also provided us with,
So that is just a working list that was going to be for a transfer meeting that we were having, and those were just. The names on there are kind of best placement of. Who could take something on that's closely related to kind of what they're already doing, it's not set. None of the employees had a chance already to look at it, we were gonna do that on the 7th. To say yes or absolutely not, I'm not taking that one, or yes, I'll do it. But, that's just a list of what Lonnie and I could kind of come up with, the things that he was doing that needed to be attended to while we were waiting for the next person.
We took a lot of input from department heads and employees about, because we need an interim until we get somebody permanent. You know, our discussion was on Zach, and then we're gonna continue this discussion to this week. We need to place somebody as an interim city administrator. Unless you want to, you know, or help appoint somebody, then you help them, but we need somebody in place.
So I don't have any idea what Zach's credentials are for running the city. So that's. I can't give an informed opinion on that. Joanna has been.
I would prefer not to at all.
Well, I'll speak up. I actually, after last Thursday's meeting, I went and talked to a couple of people. And I don't know if they contacted Zach or not, but I went and talked to, somebody that he, used to work for. And they said, Zach is a wonderful person, does a fantastic job on the public works, side of things. He would be great in that capacity. If there was anything that he would be lacking in, would be the public policy and more of the, in the office type of stuff, out there in the public eye. So from a nuts and bolts thing, they said he would be fantastic. I also got a call from, former city administrator, Sean Nagavon. And he said that Zach had had some conversations with him. And Sean actually said that that Zach would be good for the job. And that, Sean had even said that in those other instances that he was willing to help him out. So, as he You know, cause that's the way Sean came through the ranks too. He was, public works when he was put in that position.
So Lonnie came up to.
Yeah, so,
Do you feel comfortable? I know the department heads feel comfortable with you, and I'm sure the department heads will willing to help you.
I don't have that in writing from Sean, so.
No, that's what a discussion is for, you know.
My feelings are, the people that are gonna be working with this individual, until we get over the hump, it's really critical that they have strong feelings, obviously, towards you, and I would say we need to put in, not take that input from the last, session and just say, no, we've decided we're gonna get somebody else. I just don't feel good about that, and I believe that if he's as well liked, past administrators are already offering, to be there to support him. You have obviously the kind of personality where if you were struggling, it's obvious to me that you have the communication skills to just say, help, you need help, and you have a lot of people that would come and help you. So I would feel most comfortable to get him, to get it out of the way so that we can get on to, finding our administrator ASAP.
I think the way it's wrote is the mayor, pro tem administrator, unless the council decides, because that's somebody else, and I know you're real busy at work. I mean, what's your?
Yeah, I think, I agree with you, I think, getting somebody in there as an interim would be ideal. I know for certain aspects, I would have to be continuing to manage certain things, which is fine, and I'll do whatever I can to help support city, but, I think having somebody in place to be able to do like the day-to-day type stuff that needs to be done. Well, and it seems like everybody, I mean, that's nobody speaking up, seems like everybody's in favor of Zach doing it. That was pretty evident last meeting that we had, so. I don't know, if we wanna make that motion, but.
Is that gonna just do 2 jobs then? Is
Yeah, I guess
there
that's a
somebody
good
that,
discussion, what would that look like, and maybe coming from you too, like. That,
Or aren't you doing 2 jobs now, Zach?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're pretty much gonna be doing your existing job and then it's kind of being there. I think, what that also I'd maybe discuss too, like, Leslie provided me with, the EPA grant that we have. That we need to put some names on, and I'm sure there's probably other documents or different grants and things like that, that we need to have a. Administrator or something, or interim administrator, being in charge of it. I think that's why I think that has to be. Some probably things that I shouldn't, I want to be able to have the capacity to be able to do, so having somebody in place to be able to do those things, it's gonna be important. Especially if just so that there's somebody. Who can answer some questions, who knows what's going on. I think it's important.
yes. But we're still short somewhere.
Oh, sure, yeah.
You're always gonna be short during
Yeah,
an interim.
we're gonna be short until we hire somebody.
We're short right now because of this.
Yeah.
But I think that, from that standpoint, the nuts and bolts need to be taken care of, like you're saying. And Zach is more than capable of taking care of that, and, every job's a learning curve, and I think Zach has the propensity to be able to step up in that. And maybe even be our next city administrator. So I would be in favor of putting him in that position.
And it's not like we don't have the choice, the power to be able to make a change if we see something happen, like, not that I'm saying that. You see that, but I'm just saying, yeah, we're still, we still have the capability of making changes
Right.
if we see something that's not.
I think the thing I like that is when this first happened, we're gonna have the opening, I originally thought when Sean be able to come back and help us out for several months. I know people have discussions with him, but like you said, and I've heard before that Sean has put his faith in Zach. So, and he's telling Zach if he needs to reach out for him for something important, reach out for him. Our finance director said that, I think everybody last meeting is, it's not like we're gonna throw him to the wolves and everybody's gonna say,
Right.
you make the decision, strong decision, you stand, I think they're help.
Well, I think we as a council saw the support from the employees at the last meeting. So, and I think that all he has to do is to turn to any one of those employees, and he's got all this, the help that he needs.
That would be my thing, I think it needs to happen, we need somebody in place, like I say, on the day-to-day to sign stuff, because you can't do it, it's your job, just run down here for 10 minutes to take care of something.
Well, good, I'll make the motion that we appoint Zach Potter to an interim city administrator position effective August 5.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, so.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, I do have one is, what are we gonna do? I know he's gonna be taking a lot of responsibility. How are we gonna compensate him for
Before you say
responsibility?
that, you should see something.
I think he's sitting over there in that spot, so I think that means he is interested, but yeah, you're right.
What are you doing, write down a number for him, Leslie?
No, that's the
Where all his help comes in.
We knew what the last one paid, but that's doing everything.
Yeah.
And I know he's way far below that, so I mean, we need to do some kind of, talk about some kind of compensation, that if we're asking to step up, we gotta pay him for it.
What would that discussion look like when it comes to, definitely no executive meeting, and that's pretty, as public. Okay, just want to
Yeah.
make sure we're not
Yeah, we're
going into that conversation before we.
Right,
No, we're all-
that's a
It's,
executive
Yeah, that's
session.
Yeah, I'm not sure, we'll just discuss that.
finance.
Do you wanna know what his current wage is? So
Yeah.
That's something that.
Yes, that would help.
But if you will find
Hourly.
Here's an annual.
Annual.
I thought she had, I thought.
I thought that's what you were looking at.
Come on, Ken, don't you know that off the top of your head?
if you would like, we can, unless you wanted to make a decision on salary tonight, we can also use the listener and ask other communities if they have any salary guidelines for interim city administrators as well.
That might be a good idea, and also, ask the League of Oregon Cities what, typically a interim, city administrator.
What we could do is we can maybe make a decision on the next meeting, but we can back pay it to.
Right, make it retroactive.
Retroactive or.
Are you, that will be fair to you?
Yeah.
Whatever we need to decide, we can retroactive it. Retroactive, yeah.
Yeah, that would.
Yeah, so. Okay, so we can have to, we can have that conversation discussion till next meeting.
Well, we're still got a motion and.
Oh, yeah, we need it.
Yeah.
We motioned a second, or did you second it? Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, I was seconded.
All right, so, ready for vote, any other discussion? We good? All right, so Bob Cheney,
Yes.
Kathy Rye. Diane Larson,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
yes, all right. You're our new city, interim city administrator, thank you. Well, we're in place down.
That's the average hourly wage for interns in Oregon, non-urban, small city and rural counties is what, you know,
That's
14 and
You
five.
can pay us.
that's the end.
All right. Along
Not
that
that
line
much different.
No, I was surprised.
I guess this goes back to even, I guess it's, actually, this is along the same lines with my role. Within this until we hire an actual city administrator, hiring. Leslie let me know that they're in the middle and just starting to hire a part-time parks individual. And if I'm not mistaken, the last time we discussed the Zach would have all the, authority except for hiring and firing. Correct. That will still fall on me until we hire somebody to administrative wise. So I guess I need to maybe, I'm not sure if this is a discussion here, I guess I just need to work out how to be there for this process.
So there's 2 days of interviews and there's 3 of us that will be in the interviews
Okay.
currently. So I don't know if that helps your decision on if you have to be there, or if you wanna take.
When are those? When are those?
Monday.
I think it was at like 9 to 10 or 9 to 11 or something each day.
All right, I'll talk with you guys. I mean, I don't feel like, I'm not gonna say like I have to be there because I'm some kind of control freak, so, yeah, I can work out with you whether or not I need to be there and I can just trust you guys' opinion probably and do different for that route or something, but I can get your guys' opinion on that too.
So what's the process that they continue going through the hiring process, they recommend somebody to the city?
He's the figure, yeah.
He's a figure, then they tell you and
Yeah,
you make the decision.
yeah, cause I mean, I feel like between the three of you, I probably trust the decision you guys will make. You guys know better, yeah, so.
Good delegation.
Yeah. Okay, all right. All right, now we're moving on to ordinances and resolutions. Citizens will be provided the opportunity to offer comments on action items after staff has given their reports. If there's a, let's see, do I need to read anything specific for this?
No,
Okay.
this is just second read of ordinance 875. And this is an ordinance amending the Myrtle Creek Municipal Code Title IX, Public Peace, Morals, and Welfare, and repealing and replacing ordinances 645, 698, 735, 797, 824, 844, and 848. This was the one that was reviewed at the last council meeting, and it's the follow-up second read for approval.
I make a motion to approve the ordinance amending the Myrtle Creek Municipal Code Title IX, Public Peace, Morals, and Welfare, and repealing and replacing ordinances numbers 645, 698, 735, 797, 824, 844, and 848.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? What's today?
Today is the fifth.
Fifth. Seven point two, second read of ordinance granting MCI franchise for the purpose of operating as a carrier of long distance telecommunications traffic. Replacement and maintenance of fiber optic cables within the city.
And this is also a second read. It was on the agenda last week and passed with approval to forward to second.
I make a motion to approve the second read of ordinance number
876.
676. An ordinance granting MCI franchise for the purpose of operating as a carrier of long distance telecommunication traffic and replacement and maintenance of fiber optic cables within city right of way.
Oh, there.
Any discussion, prior to vote? All right, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Seven point three. Resolution 2511, a resolution granting authority to add, delete authorized signatures for the Oregon Treasury local government pool accounts and unpaid bank accounts.
So for this one here, each time there's been a change between city administrator or city recorder, we are both authorized signers of documents for the city and are the two that are authorized to make banking changes. And so these two resolutions will remove Lonnie's ability to do any of that. And at the time of writing them, prior to our interim city administrator, we were going to have you be authorized to sign. So I guess it's up to you. Do you want to be the one that's authorized to sign and do the banking? Would you like that passed on to Luke? Would you like the bank part passed on to Zach? You can do one or the other. We can have him do both. You could have one or the other. This was just a placeholder of something that needs to be done, but I can change it to however council wants to have the authority.
Open to me. I mean, with an interim. Is there any reservation with that, or do you?
What,
You could keep all three, keep Luke, Joanna's already a signer, and then just add Zach to it.
You as the money person, that would be something you would suggest.
that way you've got it covered. That would be a signer.
I guess that way, if anything changes interim wise.
I mean, if you could get a month into it and be like, this is the worst thing ever, I don't wanna do this, then we'd have to wait for another council meeting, then we have to change it again, then we'd have to.
So what we can do is if you, as a council, wanted to pass these two tonight, that would be removing Lonnie and adding you. And at our next council meeting, we could have these same resolutions, but instead of deleting anybody, it would just be adding the authority for Luke. I don't know why. Well, for Zach,
Why would we put?
I don't have them prepared.
Oh.
I'm fast, but not that fast.
If we make a decision, could we be
Yeah.
prepared, maybe you can decide tomorrow or?
That is true. If you wanted to make that kind of an amendment, I can redo, well. Yeah, because they're not adopted, so we can make that motion to amend them to include Zach. And then I will rewrite them, and then they'll just need your signature.
I'd rather, that instead of putting something off for 2 more weeks and there's something more on the table, yeah, agreeable with that.
So this, so we're gonna be making a motion.
To
To add
amend,
the-
and it can maybe be done in both together as one, an amendment to, a motion to amend resolutions 2511 and 2512 to include
Zach.
Zach. Then they'd still have to be approved though.
Well,
Or
you
with the-
can do it this way, make a motion to approve with
the
resolution
amendment.
2511 and 2512. With the amendment that Zach Potter be added as a signature to the account, pending that approval by the council, and you can do it that way, so.
Why don't you
As a
just- you just did it.
Well, you just brought it up, okay.
Say it before.
Hang out the approval by the council then, take out the last one. Yeah, I'll
So
make
that
a
was
motion.
the motion, in a second,
I second it.
okay. Any more discussion prior to vote on that? One. Alright, what is the proper procedure of? The voting of sometimes asking each one to vote their.
Robert's Rules of Order states that you don't have to ask, and you can ask for an all-in vote unless there's a nay, and then you need to call each one.
So, the one thing that I did learn at the last council, or the last reporters conference though, and you'll notice my change in my minute format, is that they said we had to list out the yeses and the nos. So if you just say, everybody says aye, if it's unanimous, that's not a problem, but
Somebody says nay.
But
you know.
usually if somebody says nay, then you
Just
call on them
remove that.
individually to find out who that nay is.
So,
That's probably pretty obvious.
Yeah, it usually is, but that's what Robert's rule of order reads.
Okay. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? And that was for both.
Yes.
Okay. All right, moving on, city project report.
and since I was asked about this on Friday, I don't, and I wasn't here yesterday, I don't have a project report prepared for today. My project report was basically gonna be just letting you all know the duties that we're trying to all cover in-house. And
All right,
next meeting.
not to make a long discussion, but do we want to maybe talk about this at all, or anything, is there anything on here that you guys have questions on?
I'm
Do
kind of
any of you
wondering,
guys have any issues with anything that's on this, or have you guys seen the, have they been able to see this yet?
Anybody who wasn't on there, yeah, I think I,
department heads. You're done with the list,
Yeah,
just department heads.
okay. Any questions on that, or anything, issues on that, anything pertinent to this that we should know about?
I haven't heard back yet. No.
No?
I think once we go through some of the ins and outs of it, I think there will be questions, but as of right now, I mean, this is like.
I think, what would be important is to be apprised of anything that's like pertinent that's happening on, because obviously anything, especially grant wise, anything that goes land, we don't want anything to fall through the cracks. So I think anything that we need to be apprised of, share with us. But there's that, yeah, you guys are good right now. It's good. But you guys,
Well, I noticed on number 25, you get, under the Imagine Myrtle Creek, you have suspended some new city administrator comes on board.
And that was just a suggestion by Lonnie.
What have we expended to date on that project? Do you know, Leslie?
I don't, it would take me a little bit to
Oh, don't.
figure
I
that
think
out.
it was, I think I noticed from the last, looking at that, there was only like 7,000 left, so.
But I think it was. Two payments, I think that was only half of what we are probably looking at spending on it. I believe.
And, could you bring that, to the next meeting if everybody's gonna agree? But I'd like to see that contract, I mean, just that contract to the Imagine Myrtle Creek, for Imagine Myrtle Creek.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, at least two of us agree.
like we talked about.
Can you bring it forward to the next meeting?
I think you're right, that's something we've talked about a lot, but I guess I just didn't assume there was a contract.
There should be a
With-
contract.
It was a contract.
Maybe add it to our Dropbox. If you look at-
Yes.
yeah. And it's actually added to our Dropbox, we can review it.
Dropbox, that'd be perfect. So it's good. Feels like you got it pretty much covered here.
So the department, have you already seen this, or this is what you're gonna see Wednesday or Thursday?
Thursday.
No, that you guys, you said that they haven't seen it already.
I'd sent it out this morning in an email.
Thanks for you.
This, my question was, is this was gonna be the meeting that we were gonna have and stuff like that, now that Zach's the intern. Or are we still, the council still
No,
wants to go off this
Yeah.
for the most part?
Yeah, I understand, I think you, now that. I think that was it was up in the air because it wasn't the city administrator. And now that, yeah, now that you're in, stepping in,
But I don't think all of that can be just put on Zach.
Yeah.
We're still,
It shouldn't all fall on his head, just good intro.
I understand, no, I'm not saying this will be his responsibility necessarily, I'm just saying.
And I think that's what you.
You can maybe facilitate the meeting, make sure that, you know,
oh, have the meetings.
yeah, have the meetings to facilitate. To make sure that everything is addressed, how the department heads are okay with what, or make the changes that are necessary. Yeah, or make the changes that are necessary that need to be made and everybody's comfortable with and make sure nothing falls through the cracks. Does that answer your question, kind of?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Anything else on that? So you had, or nothing else join on the city project?
That's all then.
Alright, mayor and councilor comments.
Well, first off, I wanted to let everybody, I sent an email to to each of the counselors, letting them know, but I think most of the employees know too that. But it was at the work session, discussion, and Luke and I had a conversation with Lonnie on Friday, and he agreed to a mutual resignation, effective as of August first. That's why he's not here tonight. His employment here was finished as of August first, and he turned in his keys. And we got his credit card back today, so, and he's been removed from all the accounts, so that's why you're not seeing Mr. Rainville here when it had been put out there that his last day was supposed to be September 14th. That's why he's not here. We've mutually agreed to go ahead and part ways as of August 1st. Other than that, I'm good.
You don't have a report on the festival or anything?
It went great, no problems, it's fantastic, and I slept for about 3 days. No, we had a good time, our game show, went off really well. I think everybody enjoyed that, even though that, Mr. Shane Kelly, did not show up, he was supposed to, but. I think it went off well. Kathy,
Well,
any questions?
Okay, just real quick, I was on the Myrtle Creek website ahead of this meeting and, Lonnie's information and stuff still on there and email and contact with the city administrator, so you might wanna get that.
I will get that. up.
Yeah, that'll take some time,
Yeah,
that's understandable.
thank you.
so I just wanna say this, so I don't forget it, 'cause I'm really super forgetful, but. In the midst of all this, change, I forgot, after meeting with the fire chief, he was saying something about he wants to change certain formats on how he's, I articulating that right.
Yeah, so I bring that up, because there's so much stuff going on last meeting that we didn't get brought up. I don't believe I listed all the meetings that we did, the minutes. We didn't say that we had our fire commission meeting, which is me, Kathy, and the chief. So we had that weeks ago, and there's some issues that he's gonna work on. It was something to do with the voting on their volunteer side, but he was gonna work something up. If not, I was gonna present it at the next meeting or a month down the road, but that was the only discussions we had.
Yeah.
Everything else with the fire department's going good. No issues.
Other than that, I did get some feedback about, the summer festival as far as the rentals for the RV. Park, there were rentals that were made, but then people asked other friends to come in, and so we're losing revenue and, hopefully there's.
Did you speak with Harold and Linda?
Pardon?
You spoke with Harold and
Yeah,
Linda.
I spoke with Harold, and so.
We allow that for summer festival because there's only 15 spots and there's so many, or 14 spots, there's so many softball participants that we just don't charge them extra to have team members in a spot that's paid for.
Okay, the reason I mentioned it, I was concerned because he was threatening to, like.
He does that.
He'd have it,
festival.
he's had it, So if there's some way that we could help him organize, so that it's better next year. Because actually with this area, I think I mentioned a couple of years ago that our area here is growing faster than any area in the nation where they had projected 5 years. So that thing is gonna grow and grow. Which is a good thing, but there are problems. So anyway, but other than that, I don't know.
There's a big chunk off of the, drinking fountain over there by the road that goes past the park. Big chunk. So that's parks. Don't know if you knew, but
Somebody must have ran into it during Summerfest.
I don't know, it's still laying there, so it hasn't been that way for a time, but
Yeah, it was after the summer festival.
it wasn't.
Cause I walked there twice a day. I don't remember, cause I wasn't happy about it either. I think they just need to add to this.
Yeah. Just because we take care of it before winter is. That's all I have.
Yeah, just a couple things on the meetings. We have a lot of people here tonight. It's good to see. We had a lot of people last Thursday. Last Thursday I always go back and listen to everything. I like to re-listen to stuff to make sure I do what I'm hearing. Tonight was fantastic. Everybody pretty much let everybody else talk. There's, talking over each other. You can understand what's going on in the meeting. And another thing, I'll ask whoever's in charge of this, Chrissy, if we could turn that darn thing down during the meeting. Everybody loves the scanner, I do too, but it's like when it is being recorded, you're trying to listen, especially when people in the audience are talking and that thing goes off, it just drowns everybody else. So it's something minor, something I just noticed, but.
We need to shut the door for me to.
We could do that, that would probably work. You can't hear that going on?
All the time. It funnels right here.
In fact, when I was listening to the meeting, that little chief sat in the back of the room, I was gonna mention to him, next time turn your radio off when you come into a meeting, and I realize it's the scanner, it's not him. Cause you got the earpiece.
I hear it once in a while, but that has never been powerful.
If you're in the back of the room, I mean, it really shows up on our.
Hey, Rick, if I can play off that just for a minute. Well, I love having the crowd here too, and I'd like to see all your smiling faces here again next time too. It's great to have an audience.
Yeah,
It is.
Usually we have maybe one or two people out here. It's great to have people out here and see that people are concerned about what's going on. Just thank you.
I appreciate the audience for being.
Oh, is that what was there for? Oh, man.
I don't really have anything to, you guys saw what happened to me today, so I just want to say thank you again to all you, and I look forward to, again, serving you guys. Yeah, I'm gonna, not take this for granted, so, yeah.
And Mayor, your audience left.
I know.
Just more count on the process, I know we're gonna get started, hopefully, try and get, if she has time, get tomorrow, whatever, the 30-day announcement out there.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do the same way it was last day? You were brought in halfway in the middle, where there was, interview the people and make a
See
decision.
how many applications we get.
Right.
And narrow it down from there, yeah, that would be the, but it's totally up to this body how we do it, so.
Yeah, I was reading those minutes from that happened, I thought that was pretty good, where the applicants were all interviewed.
Right, yeah.
And then scored, and then you make the decision, which is really good, because the 3 applicants back then, only one was picked, only one opening, then so all 3 are now on the city council, so.
Right, so is there somebody else out there?
I'm
That's what we're hoping.
I'm hoping there's more than one, but.
All right. That's all, meeting adjourned 6:57.